You guys want to see my video?
Doing what he knows best, igniting a second chance for a bike and a rider. 2-stroke or 4-stroke, from budget builds to best in class, from the Bakersfield Hills to the Supercross track. You're watching the London Max YouTube channel. You're watching the London Max YouTube channel.
So one had to ask himself, with all the bikes that you guys have seen on the channel through the years, and through especially, you know, the pandemic year, recently we just launched our Yamasaki YX500, and it's an insanely good bike, guys. Some little tweaks I'm going to make on it to make it absolutely perfect, but after that's done, I can't wait to put more time on that bike. We have the worst bike on Craigslist. No corners cut, a complete frame-up rebuild of a 2001 YZ250, made to be competitive with the 2-strokes today. We dynoed it. I haven't published the dyno numbers yet because we can make improvements on it already, which was a very, very good dyno pull. It actually was insanely good. I'm not going to tell you guys what it was yet, but it exceeded my expectations. But I need to do a little bit more configuring. Namely, he thinks we could pull a little bit more power by doing our spacer in the pipe from the exhaust port from the cylinder exhaust port to the pipe. So, anyways, still have more to go with that one. We did our Damon Huffman replica 1998 KX250, which is currently down at AHM Factory Services, which brings us to today's video. In the constant pursuit to try to one-up my last build from the prior, it's left me with quite a task at hand. So, what I mean by that is, I don't know how I can keep doing what I'm doing on video and keep surprising you guys, because you won't be surprised after the next one. It's like, okay, what's next, Lund? Like an electric vehicle, or putting a diesel, or like what's next? You know, a lot of you guys have seen it all, and to be quite honest, I don't know really where to step it up from there. So this is what we're gonna do. The reason you guys clicked the video today is because you saw something that once again caught your attention, and I think this one is definitely a nice change of pace. It's another conversion. Without further ado, let's check it out. This, guys, is a 2018 RMZ 250. We know this because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th digit in the VIN is a J. J is a 2018 RMZ 250. And guys, well, here is what I'm proposing to you. Now, you guys remember, we recently picked up the $400 ripoff. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, I tried to make such a good video out of this bike. We went on to the Craigslist, and this guy didn't want to pay the $5 fee to list bikes on Craigslist, and instead he put it in motorcycle parts, which in his defense, it kind of is a parts bike, but we bought the whole thing, after much debate too, I might add, for $400. And so we bought the 2000 YZ250. And after pulling it apart there on that video and discovering that, well, she had some damage. I was just shooting some IGTV stuff on Instagram, and so I have all kinds of crankshafts up here, and we'll cover that in a second. But this is a piston. This is an OEM piston, and I know that just because the manufacturer marks underneath the piston here. These are indicative of being really good pistons. I mean, come on, it's OEM quality, right? So what happened? Why in God's name did this thing break a skirt when it doesn't even look like it has that much use? Well, things happen. The cranks, of course, wear out. Things happen, but either way, the engine was too far gone to get started and ride there. We also had some issues with broken transmission gears, in which I already have replacements for. But yeah, we had issues, right? So since then, I've been acquiring all the parts. Our friends over at Wrench Rabbit sent me the entire engine rebuild kit for the YZ250 because I had some time to think about this. And guys, I know you know where I'm going with this. I already have the worst bike on Craigslist, the YZ325. It's the exact same year, make, and model as that Roadkill YZ250. The YZ250 is famous for being such a great motor. It's one of the most popular two-stroke seen at the track. They're almost the exact same bike from 2006 all the way to 2021, with changes in suspension and a little bit of blue rims, or you know, just different graphics and different color schemes. And anyways, but the biggest thing that's been the least changed has been the engine. Yamaha first introduced that last rendition of the engine back in 1999. So think about that for a second. You guys who are buying the 2021 YZ250s essentially have the same engine as back in 1999. There is some porting changes that they messed with, and but for the large part, you can get a rebuild kit and it will cover 99 through 21. They're all that similar. How do we take a power plant and putting it into a worthy chassis? Well, we went over this same thing with the Yamasaki YX500, right? So I wanted a 500 to go into something that was known to be, one, really good suspension, and two, it had to have good brakes. Everything else, as far as cornering and everything else, like that could be fixed to a point anyway. But largely, it had to have a better characteristic as a rolling chassis, not worrying about the engine side of things, because after you put a 500 in it, well, it's going to make it that much better. Skip ahead to present. I am already ahead of you guys. I know what you're thinking, and I agree with you. But here is where I literally had to pick up the camera, because I've been talking with some friends, some sponsors, and I really want to do this one a little bit differently than in the past. First and foremost, I could not believe how good this engine fits. Obviously, this engine is completely empty. It has no tranny, nothing. It has zero in it. These are just the cases put together with one bolt, like to kind of just hold everything together to throw in here. Guys, I have the swing arm pivot bolt through the backside of the engine cases. It is the exact same size. The pivot bolt is the exact same size as the engine, and the width of the backside of the engine that goes through the pivot bolt is the exact same size as a 2018 RMZ 250. Some of you out there saying, London X, why don't you just put an RM250 engine in it? Like, keep Suzuki with Suzuki. Why do you have to put a Yamaha engine in it? I'm going to tell you guys, it is getting incredibly hard to get RM250 parts. So much so that I know many people that have them that are just not even going to ride them that much anymore because they're so hard to get parts for. Internal parts such as transmission, anything to do with transmission, shift forks, intricate drive gears, anything. Primary drive system, like, they're all getting hard to find. Sure, you could find crankshafts. The cylinders are getting very few and far between. And, I mean, but guys, the Yamaha YZ250 engine, you can still buy transmission parts for. You could buy any part. I don't have to name them all. You could still get every single part for these at a relatively good price. And if you didn't know, you probably did, using my Rocky Mountain link down in the prescription down there helps out the channel a ton. Any purchase you guys make through that link down in the description, it helps out the channel to help afford to do beautiful projects. Possibly. I haven't done anything yet. There's been no cutting of the frame yet. I haven't done anything because I wanted to talk to you guys about it first. So, a Yamazuki is what I proposed to you guys. Like I said, I have not done any cutting on the frame yet. I've done no modifications. I do really like that already our air boot about positions correctly. I mean, this is a fuel injection throttle body, right? Like, how cool it would be to find a way to put a Hall effect on here and get this thing to run on fuel injection. It would be a lot harder than I'm making it sound, but it wouldn't be impossible. But with the Smartcarbs I've been using, guys, from Technologies Elevated, those things are the closest thing to fuel injection you can get in a carburetor. And it's not even a carburetor, really. I hate calling it that, but it is. But guys, we can totally, this could work. It fits so good. We have great clearance. The air boot's already routed correctly. You put on a block-off plate on the bottom of the fuel pump, add a petcock to it so you have a fuel valve for the Smartcarb or whatever we plan to use. Obviously, this does need to be cut and raised to clear the exhaust bridge. That is a common thing that you have to do with two-stroke conversions, is a four-strokes. They come down really tight in front here. That's fine. We've done it before. We can do it again. No big deal. Moving on. We got plenty of clearance for an exhaust pipe. Muffler, obviously these things had the most gargantuan mufflers ever. So plenty of room for that. So what I'm saying is this would be a very easy project. The only big thing would be modifying that Y piece right here for the exhaust to clear, and then just fitting the radiators, and everything else I think would be, pretty easy. At the same time, I do not want to bore you guys with the same thing over and over again. Like, okay, what is he putting a different engine in this time? I even spent some time talking with the boys over at Reverend Motors saying, would it be cool to get like a 2020 something and make it look old? Like, everyone tries to put the restyle plastic for the new stuff on. What if I tried to restyle it to make it look old? Or they had another great idea that, why don't you take like this YZ250 engine and try to fit it into like an old Elsinore or an old DT, like an old YZ250, an air-cooled one, but instead throw the YZ250 engine in that, make some radiator mounts, but that's it. Don't do anything else about it. So that is where you guys come in on this video. Like versus dislike, okay? Like the video if you want to see this YZ250 powered RMZ 250. So this, in my opinion, would probably be the only bike in the shop, garage, whatever, that would be a legitimate motocross racer as far as chassis design, and then the engine and suspension and everything like that. The YZ325 is an enduro weapon. The YX500, the Yamasaki, that is just straight to laugh at and have a blast on, and there's no way in heck I'd ever race that thing. We just picked up that beautiful 94 CR125. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about putting in the YZ250 into an RMZ frame? I think it would piss off a lot of Suzuki guys, but at the same time, it would make a lot of you Yamaha fans out there just completely smile, because you know that the Yamaha engines are super rad, and well, I agree. The other thing is too, guys, we could take this engine, put it back in the original frame and chassis, and do some sort of like a McGrath replica or Jimmy Button replica or John Dowd. I'm throwing out names here now, but we can do a throwback bike, but I feel like they've all been done. You've seen all the different Mazda Yamaha combos, the Chaparral Yamaha combos. You've seen all those, and I don't want to make something everyone else has done. And trust me, I went online, and there is no Yamazukis. There's one up north, but it's like an '08 chassis with the YZ250 engine in it. But there is no 2018s. Definitely nothing that new with the YZ250 engine. And of course, Il Rappa over across the big pond, he does put 125 engines in a lot of RMZs and CRs and kicks. If you guys don't know about Il Rappa, he's on Instagram. I think it's ILRAPPA. Check him out on Instagram. He does some insane conversions. Really, really good quality. Great craftsmanship. I highly recommend you check him out. Other than that, guys, what do you guys think? I think this could be a legitimate good motocrosser. The other idea I had is, what if we try to get into an electric vehicle thing? I've been doing a lot of research on how to buy motor kits, speed controls, making your own battery packs. I've been doing a lot of research, guys, on how to make our own electric dirt bike. So that's another possibility. We could try to build our first EV dirt bike on the channel. And that would just be a blast. Although the technology is getting better and better with batteries, I feel like that is really going to set apart the bikes in the future, is if they can get better discharge and recharge rates on those batteries and somehow allow them to be made lighter, you will start seeing a lot of battery-powered electric dirt bikes. But until that happens, gas is going to be the way to go. And lastly, what we can do, I have the ability to do, is get a replacement engine for this 2018. It is also a 2018 RMZ 250 engine. We can do that. We can totally do that. We could put an RMZ 250 back in this, strip it all down, and completely rebuild this as an RMZ 250, a Suzuki RMZ 250 with RMZ motor, and just try to make it insane. Do cams, do a crazy ported head. I have the ability to get a JGR head from Patrick Lay. I can get the entire engine from Patrick Lay. He's the guy over at LMS Blasting Innovations that helped us out with the cabinet. And the cabinet's not here anymore. Guys, you got to check out Shop Garage, whatever. She is getting empty. Yep, I've made a couple trips to Nevada and brought some things up there, so I'm getting kind of sparse in here. Things in boxes, but I did want to keep this here because I did plan on asking you guys what we should do about this bike in this video. So, in a couple days after I figure a lot of you have seen this video, I'm going to put up a picture of this possibility on Instagram. And you guys need to get over there and let me know what you think. Because I personally think it'd be way rad to do a YZ250 inside of an RM chassis. It's RMZ. Let's be honest, guys. A lot of you don't like the RMZs, right? Some of you do. You guys know I have owned RMZs and have done RMZ builds in the past, and they're great bikes. The thing that a lot of people don't like about them is that they are still kickstart and they are still very heavy. Well, without the engines, these things are actually really, really light. In fact, putting in a YZ250 engine would make this thing very light. Like superior light. So it'd be a very lightweight, fast, powerful dirt bike. We can even hit up Eddie Sanders Racing, try to get a 325 kit for it again. But I think I would kind of just want to leave this thing with the YZ engine in it. We have the 325. I have another 325 cylinder right there. And then it's like, what do I do? That's where I need you guys. I need your help, guys. I need you to keep me in line here. Let me know what I should do, because, man, my brain's always going. Speaking of Suzuki, this one is still here. Hasn't been taken up to Nevada yet, but this is my son's 2003 RM125, and a completely all wrench rabbit engine. Guys, she finally kicked the bucket, and I believe it's a crank. I already pulled off the exhaust pipe, as you guys can see. So I can look inside the exhaust port to see if we fried the piston. The piston looks brand new. As some of you remember, we just threw a piston in this thing like 4 hours ago, and it left. It broke. It locked up hard, and now, come to find out, it is a crank. So at 106 hours, guys, at 106 hours of hard racing, desert racing, hill climbs, screaming this thing nonstop. This is even 106 hours on this chain, guys. And, yeah, the links are nice and flat. This thing needs a rebuild. But luckily, our friends over, once again, at Wrench Rabbit, hooked us up with another rebuild kit so we can get another 100+ hours out of this one. And I got to tell you guys something. We have been running exclusively the Reverend Motors Holy Smoke 2-stroke premix in all the bikes, and all 106 hours of this bike were on that Reverend premix. I can't wait to show you guys the piston after 4 hours of riding. I have not pulled the cylinder off yet, but I can't wait to show you guys what 4 hours of hard. I mean, my son is not nice to this thing. He screams it, and sometimes I forget. I think he forgets that he has a shift. It sounds like he's pinned everywhere all the time he's riding this thing. But I can't wait to show you guys the type of protection we're getting out of these Reverend products. It's truly amazing. But, so that is going to be coming soon. We're going to pull that thing out. I have to get that done before we move, because after I move, I'm going to be so busy with other things. I'm not going to have time to rebuild it, so I have to get that done. Some of you just saw this beautiful bike hit our stable. It's still down here because I wanted to ride it a little bit more. I wanted to fix rear brake, possibly upgrade the rear brake, and play around on a little bit more. The worst bike on Craigslist, 325, is sitting pretty over there in the sun, just getting a little bit of a suntan. And that's as far as all the bikes here. So the Yamasaki's gone, the GPX 450 is gone. Well, when I say gone, they're up there already. And the KX500, the 98 KX, or 1991 KX500 that was up here, is up there already, shipped out. The 98 KX250 is down at AHM, getting all the suspension stuff done. They're going to do some awesome things with that bike. And also the Jeff Ward bike that was over in the corner, back over here, the 1987 KX250, that one right there, that number 2, that we also have the number plate from right there. That is down, or that's already over in Nevada at the new place. So on the next drive, these 4 will be going. But yeah, guys, what do you think? So like I was just saying, on the Instagram IGTV videos, what we're just talking about, and I feel like it's valid to show here too. So I have this piston here. This is cool. Bobby Benson, the guy that does my powder coating, he's moving to Hawaii. He's getting restationed in Hawaii. Poor guy, I know. But so if you guys ever see dents in the top of your piston, and believe it or not, I've seen some guys that say, oh man, this thing had detonation. Luckily the cylinder's good. I put a new piston in it and it's all good. Well, I want to tell you guys something. It's not good. If you look in here, focus, come on. It just won't. Let me come all the way out and go in. Nope. Oh, there we go, a little bit. So the connecting rod bearing in this thing is ghosted. It's gone. Yeah. But what's weird is, if you try to get any rod slop out of here, there is none. This rod actually moves nice and free. It's tight as far as there's no click, 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 click. And what's funny is, like, you know, guys, when they change a piston out, they'll take out the circlip and then they'll fill the rod play up and down. They're like, nope, this thing's nice and tight. The rod's still good. Guys, it's so important that you check these little windows, if you will. I don't know what else to call them, but they're, for lack of better explanation, it's an oiling port, and it allows the oil gas mixture to get inside these lower end bearings. Here's how one is supposed to look. Here's a good used crank. So you can see each roller bearing in there, right? You can see each one, and they're in good shape. This is the exact same crank. This is also the exact same crank, but this one has more time on it, and this one still has a little bit of a wobble. So I took this one out because you can grab the crank, and there was just a little too much side to side. Even though there's no bearings missing, it still need to be changed. So while I've been doing that too, guys, I've been doing quite a bit of research and trying to do some development too with crankshafts. Some of you guys will notice that these right here are called crank stuffers. You see how these things are just threaded in. There's bolts that hold them in. Well, every brand is going to have those. Okay, so here is like I think this is like a 01, 02, KX125 crank, something like that. No, maybe not 02. I think it's 01, KX1. I can't remember now, but either way, if you guys need, I think this is actually an 03 crank. I'll have to look it up. I can't remember what it is, but let me know. If not, it's going in the trash. This is the crank that came out of the YZ. But so talking about stuffers, right? So one of the things that I'm tooling with the idea of with that YZ250 engine in there is I really want to make a really high horsepower YZ250. I've talked to Eddie Sanders about this before, and removing these stuffers allows more crank volume of gas and oil, of course, but fuel, right? Allows you remove these, and that opens up even more room to make an even bigger explosion when this piston comes up to top dead center again, because now it just took an even bigger gulp of fuel and air mixed. So I'm playing with the notion of messing around with the stuffers, taking them out, trying different size stuffers, and then also KX Guru, he's even put little, let's see if I can find a photo here. But yeah, he cuts like slots into them, and that helps with the whole turbulent fuel movement and exciting the fuel, agitating the fuel, and I might try something like that. So, moving on. But didn't want to do a long drawn out video today, guys. I really just wanted to get strictly to business. What would you like to see with this Suzuki RMZ 250? What do you guys want? Want to do electric? Want to put an RMZ engine back in it and make it a sweet RMZ? Or should we two-stroke it? I know a lot of you out there are the same as me. Two-stroke everything. But we'll see. Like versus dislike. Like means let's put the YZ250 engine in it. Dislike means do not put the YZ250 engine in it, because YouTube still thinks my comments should not be turned on, even though I've removed all videos that had my kids in it. But you have to dance with the devil, I guess. I don't know. I don't like it, but whatever. Guys, that's the plan. Thank you for hanging out with me on the Shop Garage today. Shop Garage, whatever. Dude, this is like literally probably one of the last, or might be one more video from the Shop Garage, whatever, and then I'm out of here. We're gone. No more Shop Garage, whatever. It'll probably be shop. No whatever. Just from the shop. We'll see. Might try to fire up something in a garage. I don't know. We're still working out the particulars, but we're going. We're going, guys. Anyways, I love every single one of you guys. I will talk to you very, very soon. That's a promise. Peace out for now. I'll see you then. Check out that video. I don't know where it's at. It's one of the sides. Check out that video. Love you guys. Bye.